Hi, I'm Linda from paperboutique.blogspot.com, and today we're going to be having fun with metal repair tape. My sister made several tags for her steampunk album using metal repair tape, and I love the look, so I had to give it a try. I love getting ideas from my sister and from my niece. Well, for today's projects, we're going to be using, as I said, the 3M metal repair tape, and it's foil tape number 3381, and we're going to be making these tags, and I'm going to show you different techniques. A roll of this tape looks like this, and it's 50 yards, and it's 1.88 inches wide and sells for $7.58. I purchased mine at Lowe's, and what a bargain for 50 yards of fun. Home Depot sells, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Nashua Extreme Weather Tape that's 2.83 inches wide by 50 yards for $21.78. Well, let's move this aside, and I just want to show you a little bit more about this tape. And as you can see, the tape comes with a liner on it, and it's very pliable. I'm hoping we're not getting too much glare. And what I like to do is cut it into smaller workable sheets. And then what we're going to do for the projects today, we're going to back it with a lightweight cardstock. And as you can see, this is just fairly lightweight. And all I'm going to do is just peel. I want to make sure you're seeing that. You just peel off the backing. And I found the best way to do this, you can line it up to the edge and then just get my head out of the way here and then just peel it back. And the fun thing about it is, even if it's, I think you can see it's kind of crinkled, all I do, and I didn't get it even, you can trim that with the scissors, you don't have to do it on the edge either. All I do is just use a very inexpensive plastic ruler, or you can use a bone folder, and it automatically smooths out. Well, let me show you a piece that I've already done, and this is just a small one, and I've backed it, like I said, with a lightweight cardstock. And if you're going to use a punch on this, and I'll show you the result of doing that in just a moment, you might want to back it with computer paper depending on what you're going to use. For today's projects, I backed everything with this lightweight cardstock first. Well, let me show you a couple of the things I've made with it. And I made just very simple little tags, but you could take the techniques that I'm about to show you and just cut a big piece and make your own tag, and you can make a larger size tag, or you could buy the whiter tape. But I love these mini tags, and I think they'd be so cute in a set. What I did to get this amazing look is, after I went ahead and backed it with paper, I ran it through my Cuttlebug. This one was a Sizzix die. You can also use spellbinders. One hint that I have: when you're cutting it out, make sure that you have the paper side up. It works better than if you have the metal or the tape side up. So I just ran it through my Cuttlebug, and you can see that's the shape I got. And you can use flowers, you can use this technique with borders, with any sort of die cut that you have. The next thing I did to get these wonderful embossed looks is I painted this silver, the tape, and I'll move this out of the way, and I painted it with an acrylic paint, let it dry for a couple of hours. I painted the blue one, and I painted the pink one with this pink, but it wasn't this light pink, it was a little bit brighter pink, and I just grabbed the wrong one for the video, but it is the Martha Stewart craft paint, and it's just in the brighter shade. After I let both of them dry, I ran it through the Cuttlebug, and I'm using, for the projects today, the new folders I got from HSN in the Anna Griffin folders. And let me just take a minute out and show you these. They're beautiful. This is the Anna Griffin Poppy one, and I'm hoping you can see this. And I'm going to take out this paper because I think you'll stand a better chance. And this is Rosa, and I've also used it on a tag. Is that, I don't know if that's any better. That's the Rosa. Oh, and this one's my favorite. And I'll show you this one in a minute in a tag. This is the Pirouette. And then lastly, I used this particular one, the fabric swatches. And I discovered today when I pulled this out, it came with the Anna Griffin kit. Cricut has this, ProvoCraft sells this one on their provocraft.com. I love this, and I'll show you how darling it turned out in just a moment. So what I did after I let it dry and I ran them through the Cuttlebug, this is the Rosa and this is the Pirouette. I took a sanding block, or you can use a distressing block, and on this particular one, I just lightly distressed it so you can see that there's still a little bit of the blue paint on, and I like that look. For this look, I really sanded it and I got all the paint off of the raised image, and then I backed this with a shadow cut on just gray paper. But aren't those adorable? I mean, and they're super simple to do. Well, let me show you another technique, and I think this one is my favorite. I wish you could be here to see these in person because they really do look like an aged metal. And for these, I used a sponge applicator, a Tim Holtz sponge applicator, and I used alcohol ink. This particular one is using, I believe this was the Poppy. This is that cute fabric swatches, and this again is the Pirouette. And what I did, let me just take them one at a time. Excuse me. I used my sponge, and for this one, I used the Wild Plum alcohol ink. I used the gold mixative. I used the pearl mixative. And then I also used the copper mixative. I'll lay those down. And what I did is I just put a drop of each one of them kind of in the center, and then I just dabbed it on. And some people swirl it. It's just whatever technique that you like. Isn't that beautiful? So first I backed it with the paper, then I ran it through the Cuttlebug using the Anna Griffin folder, and then I added the alcohol dye. This one I did very similar, except I used, on this one, I used my favorite alcohol inks, and that's the Lettuce, the Stream, and this one has the copper mixative and the gold mixative. And let me get my hands out of the way so you can really see that. And then this one is the Pirouette. I'm going to move that. Hopefully you can see a little bit different because these two are gorgeous. And I used the exact same colors in this one, and I just put a drop each and dabbed it on. And this is cut using the a spellbinder die and then embossed with a spellbinder die. And once again, this is the Lettuce and the Stream. This time I added just a little of the pearl, and then I added the gold, and I just dabbed it on. Aren't those gorgeous? I mean, they're so cute. Now for the next technique, and this one's really fun. You can do a border. I'm going to move these out of the way so you can see a little bit better. You can do a border punch. And my border punch was, it went through the cardstock just fine, but you may want to test it, and you may need to back your tape with, like I said, computer paper, copy paper. The fun thing about making a border is, look, the tape, you can just make a quick 12-inch border, and all you do is line up your punch. Well, after I did that, I punched it out, and then I embossed it using the Poppy. Let me reach over here and make sure I'm saying the right one. I just want to make sure that you know which one. Yes, it is the Poppy. I did use the Poppy on this one. And then what I did is I used archival ink, and you know how we emboss the paper usually and then just run ink over the raised portion? That's what I did with Ranger archival ink. And I think it turned out so cute. Now for this one, I did the same thing, and I also used, this one's the Rosa, and I did the archival ink over the top, but then after I inked it, I went over the top of it and distressed it or sanded it a little. And if you don't have a sanding block, You could use a fine grit sandpaper, or even an emery board in some cases will work. So that's that technique. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to play just a little bit more, and I want to show you a few of the other ones. What I did here is I just went ahead, and this is a die, and I went ahead and cut it. First I backed it with paper, cut it, and used that fabric swatch Cuttlebug folder. Isn't that adorable? Well, I painted it first, sorry. Let it dry, and then I used the Cuttlebug folder, and then I sanded or distressed the top, and I thought that turned out really cute. Now, for those of you that know me, you know I love my glitter. So this is just a punch, and I used regular cardstock on this, punched it out, and then I used stickles, and stickles worked perfectly. For this one, this is also a die, and I used just regular nail polish on that, and I love to use my nail polish. And this is what it looks like, just cut out of the paper with nothing added. The fun thing about, let me bring in some more of these so you can get another look at them. The fun thing about using this wonderful, let me bring in the label too, this foil tape, is that just about anything sticks to it. I mean, I used acrylic paint, I used Martha Stewart craft paint, I used archival ink, I used alcohol ink, I used glitter, I used nail polish. So you can just use this for tons of different embellishments. You could make flowers. Oh, and the last thing I want to mention is because it's so soft, the tape, it's pliable. So you can even bend the petals of flowers, and it'll turn out really cute. Well, I would like to thank you for watching today, and please visit my blog, www.paperboutique.blogspot.com, for more projects and ideas. Bye-bye.